It is the year 2005, and a film is playing in theaters that, even more than 20 years later, many people still remember. In the film, Will Smith battles a robot uprising, and even if it may not be the most groundbreaking movie of its time, it perfectly captures how people in 2004 imagined the future. There are humanoid robots, houses can be controlled entirely by voice, and maybe the coolest thing in the entire film was Audi's concept car, the Audi RSQ. The car was developed by Audi specifically for the movie, and it was like a science fiction version of the Audi R8 that could even hover. Back then, that vision actually fit the spirit of the times surprisingly well. If any company was going to build the most futuristic car in the world, it had to be Audi. Today, just 9 years before the year 2035, the year in which the world of the movie is supposed to take place, there are already the first humanoid robots, there are smart homes, and there are also extremely futuristic cars. But one idea now feels completely out of place. The idea that Audi, of all companies, could build the most advanced car in the world. Because the company that became famous for the slogan "advantage through technology" and that always stood for vision and high-tech innovation, is now in a state that is anything but visionary. In fact, Audi is in much worse shape in the year 2026 than most people realize. And not only because of, in some cases, shockingly low sales figures, but above all because of a decision so serious that it is even putting the entire German economy at risk. And we begin directly with this fateful decision. It all happened sometime in May 2024 in Shanghai, and it was set in motion by two men who had a massive problem. More specifically, we are talking about Gernot Döllner and Ralf Brandstätter. These two men hold the future of Audi in their hands. Gernot Döllner is the most central figure at Audi. He is not only the CEO of Audi, he is also the head of Volkswagen's Progressive Group. His job is essentially to preserve Audi's image as a highly modern car brand. But Döllner is deeply worried about one particular issue: Audi's position in China. Audi is currently at risk of losing one of its most important markets. To stop that from happening, Gernot Döllner joined forces with Ralf Brandstätter. Brandstätter is one of the most important figures in the Volkswagen Group because he heads Volkswagen Group in China. In order to somehow save the Audi brand in China, the two men took a very unusual step. The problem is this: Chinese customers are becoming less and less interested in buying German cars. This started a few years ago, but by now the trend has reached alarming levels. In 2019, for example, Volkswagen, together with its sub-brands such as Audi, held almost 20% of the Chinese car market. That means every fifth passenger car that was bought was a Volkswagen. Audi, in particular, as a well-known premium brand, was highly profitable for the Volkswagen Group in China for a long time. 6 years later, in 2025, the picture looks completely different. Instead of a 20% share of the car market, the Volkswagen Group now holds only 11%, and that number keeps shrinking year after year. Even now, forecasts suggest that from 2030 onward, Volkswagen in China could become little more than a marginal player, with just under 5% of the passenger car market. And recently, it also emerged that Volkswagen's luxury brands in particular are currently collapsing catastrophically in China. Porsche, for example, saw its profits drop by an unbelievable 92% last year, mainly because of weak demand in China. This trend is so alarming that Brandstätter and Döllner came up with a radical plan. They wanted to abandon the Audi brand because the two men realized that Chinese customers no longer want to buy German cars since they are seen as outdated. They are viewed as the cars of their parents and grandparents, and for most people, they are seen as combustion engine vehicles with inferior technology. Brandstätter and Döllner realized that they could only get rid of this image by burying Audi in China and founding a new Chinese brand. And that is exactly what makes their plan so controversial. Instead of continuing to offer the traditional German Audi brand in China, they struck a deal with the Chinese company SAC. SAC is a state-owned Chinese carmaker, and that company is now supposed to build a new Chinese firm together with Audi under the name Audi. So the company still carries the exact same name, but this new Chinese Audi company has very little to do with Germany one. It no longer has the 4 iconic Audi rings, but only an Audi wordmark in capital letters. It has production sites only in China and not in Germany. And perhaps the strangest thing of all, these new Audis are sold only in China. Almost everything is handled by SAC. Audi has therefore effectively given up its own brand and is now being taken over by a Chinese company with a new logo. But that is exactly the description Audi itself is trying to avoid at all costs. Audi insists that the new Chinese brand still guarantees German promise of quality and is even partly developed in Ingolstadt. But how much German engineering is actually in the new Audi brand is almost impossible to say. And when you take a closer look, it even becomes obvious that the new Audis bear a startling resemblance to another Chinese car brand. Automotive industry insider Philip Rasch noted that the newly developed Audi E5 Sportback from the new Chinese Audi brand just so happens to look strikingly similar to the IM Motors L6. And the resemblance is obvious, especially the door design looks very similar. The Audi even has identical motors, is based on the same platform, and also uses the exact same battery with the same capacity. IM Motors also belongs to SAC, which strongly suggests that Audi is giving the company far more control over these cars than the German Audi company is currently willing to admit. The whole thing is bizarre on several levels, because Audi is selling these better models exclusively in China and at dirt cheap prices. While in Germany, the cheapest fully electric Audi starts at 46,000 euros. This new Chinese E5 Sportback costs only 26,000 euros in China. And perhaps the most absurd part is this. Media outlets are already reporting that these new futuristic Audis are flopping badly in China and that the brand has had to lower prices even further just to sell cars at all. So even this last desperate measure does not seem to have helped. Let's take a closer look at the Audi brand. Because Audi does not exist only in China, but also in the rest of the world. And that raises the question, how is Audi doing elsewhere with its aging models? Here too, it becomes clear that the company is facing enormous problems right now. Audi's numbers alone do not look good at the moment. In the year 2024, the company's profit was nearly cut in half, and Audi sold almost 12% fewer cars than it had 1 year earlier, which by the way had already been lower than the year before that. And it is not only because of China. In Audi's second major export market, things are currently going shockingly badly as well, namely in the United States. While high-tech brands like Tesla and Rivian are breaking all records for electric car sales in America, Audi has already fallen far behind in the EV market. Last quarter, Audi sold only 71 Q4 e-tron models in the United States, while only 3 Q8 e-tron were sold. In the same period, Tesla alone sold 92,460 vehicles, and even the young electric car company Rivian sold more than 5,000 cars. In Europe too, the same pattern becomes clear. More and more customers are placing value on innovation, and cars from Tesla or Rivian offer far more, with features like full self-driving or app-based controls than the Audi e-tron models, which by now almost seem old-fashioned. And in China, companies like Xpeng or Huawei keep outdoing each other with ever wilder features. So there are not only self-driving systems and extremely fast charging stations, some cars can also do completely absurd things, like turning their wheels sideways on the spot so they can slide out of a parking space sideways. In all of this, the German Audi brand feels strangely outdated, but maybe the tide can still turn. Or what do you think? Is it already too late for that? Could there still be a way for Audi to truly regain its lead through technology?